Arcadian Vanguard presents The Wrestling News in your daily wrestling newscast for Friday, August 25th, 2023. Good morning, I'm Mike Sempervive. We begin today with the unfortunate passing on Thursday of Wyndham Rotundo, known professionally as Bray Wyatt. According to Fightful, the 36-year-old Rotunda passed away after suffering a heart attack. Fightful's report also stated that earlier this year, Wyatt had contracted COVID, which had aggravated an existing heart issue. The initial news of Wyatt's passing was broken on Thursday evening by WWE Chief Content Officer Paul Levesque with a tweet that read, quote, "Just received a call from WWE Hall of Fame member Mike Rotunda, who informed us of the tragic news that our WWE family member for life, Wyndham Rotunda, also known as Bray Wyatt, unexpectedly passed away earlier today. Our thoughts are with his family, and we ask that everyone respect their privacy at this time," unquote. Born on May 23, 1987, Wyndham Lawrence Rotunda was a third-generation pro wrestler. The son of Mike Rotunda, nephew of Barry Windham, and grandson of Blackjack Mulligan, Wyatt began his wrestling career in 2009 as Duke Rotunda, alongside his brother Bo, in Florida Championship Wrestling, which served as WWE's developmental territory at the time. In 2010, Wyatt would make his national television debut as Husky Harris during the original incarnation of NXT, which at the time was something of a reality show featuring competition challenges over wrestling matches. In early 2011, after a main roster stint as part of the Nexus, a group made up of former NXT contestants, Rotunda returned to FCW where he began developing the original Bray Wyatt character, a type of spiritual leader from the backwoods which debuted in July 2012. After months of vignettes signaling their debut, Rotunda, along with his Wyatt family partners Eric Rowan and the late Luke Harper, made their debuts on the main roster in July 2013, attacking Kane on Monday Night Raw. As the character evolved over the years on the main roster, Wyatt morphed into a split personality, becoming a creepy host of the surreal Firefly Funhouse who had a dark side that would turn him into the Fiend. Wyatt's avant-garde creative ideas were polarizing among fans, with some appreciating the supernatural nature of the character and breaking of the fourth wall, rarities on WWE programming, while others thought the character and his matches were well beyond the parameters of what professional wrestling is supposed to portray. Rotunda had been released from the company in July 2021 after being idle since wrestling Randy Orton during that April's WrestleMania with no specific reason being given. Wyatt re-signed with WWE in late 2022 and re-debuted on the October 14th edition of SmackDown. Wyatt's first match back with WWE was a victory over Jinder Mahal during the company's annual post-Christmas house show at Madison Square Garden on December 26, 2022. During this most recent run, Wyatt had not wrestled since a house show victory in a lights-out street fight last February 26 in Rockford, Illinois against LA Knight. On August 10th, Fightful reported that Wyatt was reportedly getting closer to being medically cleared to compete again after being off TV due to fighting an illness which was not made public at the time, although the report noted it was threatening to both Rotunda's career and his life. WWE announced on Thursday it would be donating all net proceeds from any Bray Wyatt merchandise sold to his family. Rotunda was survived by his fiancée, Joseanne Offerman, who he engaged in 2002, and their 2 children, as well as 2 children from a previous marriage. Once again, Wyndham Rotunda, known better as Bray Wyatt, has passed away. He was 36 years old. Ring of Honor was streamed last night on Honor Club, featuring matches taped August 16th in Nashville, Tennessee, and August 18th in Lexington, Kentucky. Ring of Honor World Champion Claudio Castagnoli was in action, defeating Ryan Nemeth in a non-title proving ground match. NJPW World Television Champion Zack Sabre Jr. made the 13th defense of his championship, turning back the challenge of Christopher Daniels. In 6-man tag team action, the Dark Order went over Dalton Castle and the Boys. In tag team action, ROH Women's Champion Athena and Billy Starks defeated the Renegades. And in other selected results, Blake Christian beat Brandon Cutler, Matt Sydal defeated Serpentico, Layla Hirsch beat Layla Gray, and Kiera Hogan bested Lady Frost. In Impact Wrestling news, Impact World Champion Alex Shelley successfully defended his title last night against Brian Myers in a match aired on Access TV and originally taped on July 29th in Cicero, Illinois. In other Impact results from last night's show, Knockouts World Champion Trinity went over Jody Threat in a non-title match, Chris Sabin defeated Samurai Del Sol, Ace Austin and Chris Bay beat the Good Hands, and Diener topped the Laredo Kid. MLW also streamed yesterday on YouTube, featuring matches taped on July 8th at the 2300 Arena in Philadelphia. MLW National Openweight Champion Jacob Fatu and MLW Middleweight Champion Akira had a short, inconclusive match that ended in a disqualification for Akira due to outside interference from Ricky Shane Page.
Ricky Shane Page! That baseball bat wrapped in barbed wire! This changes everything now. Oh, Ricky Shane. No. Oh, no! Oh, Fatu's skull! Driven right into those sharp barbs of the barbed wire, and Ricky Shane Page has a sick smile on his face. He's proud of what he did. We've seen the calling put Fatu on the shelf before. I don't think they want to see a Fatu comeback this time.
Also on the show, Willie Mack won a scramble match that also included Ken Broadway, Love Doug, Nolo Catano, and O'Shea Edwards, and the Second Gear crew beat the Samoan SWAT team in the calling in a three-way match. Moving to ratings news, Wednesday's episode of AEW Dynamite drew a total audience of 870,000 viewers to TBS, according to WrestleNomics, down 4,000 viewers on average from last week's edition. The rating in the key 18 to 49-year-old demographic was a .32 for the second week in a row, although the show was up 10,000 viewers on average from last week, with approximately 422,000 tuning in. And we close with some more unfortunate news. Former Jim Crockett Promotions announcer Rich Landrum passed away on August 14th, according to a post on Thursday by the Mid-Atlantic Gateway's Dick Bourne. Landrum was 77 years old. Bourne reports that after speaking with a family member, Landrum had been ill since this past May, although the nature of his illness was undisclosed. Landrum began the wrestling portion of his announcing career in 1971 as the ring announcer for Crockett shows in Richmond, at the fairgrounds at Strawberry Hill, the old Richmond Arena, and then the Richmond Coliseum. While working for a local television station, Landrum received his opportunity when the regular ring announcer no-showed, and promoter Joe Murnick asked Landrum if he wanted to fill in. Landrum then took over studio hosting duties on Worldwide Wrestling in fall of 1978 from fellow ring announcer Tom Miller. He would often pair with Johnny Weaver to call the action and continued to do so until early 1982 when David Crockett took over the role in a cost-cutting move when the promotion balked at flying Landrum into Raleigh from Richmond. In 1983, after his run in the Carolinas, Landrum was approached by former co-worker turned WWE creative team member George Scott to begin working for the nationally expanding McMahon operation. Landrum worked with Titan Sports for about a year before departing. After the WWF, Landrum made some occasional appearances as an announcer for the Mario Savoldi-promoted ICW promotion based in New England before departing the business altogether. Once again, Rich Landrum passed away on Thursday at the age of 77. And before we leave you today, we'd like to remind you that however you consume your content, you can find the wrestling news 24 hours a day and 7 days a week across social media. On Twitter, follow us at Wrestling News AV. Our Facebook page is also Wrestling News AV. The Wrestling News can also be found on the Arcadian Vanguard YouTube page. And for those who utilize Amazon Echo devices, just tell Alexa to play the Wrestling News podcast. And remember to make sure you add podcast at the end. Once again, for daily updates, breaking news, and more, follow the Wrestling News across social media. And that's the news for today. If anything happens, we will be here to tell you about it. No clickbait, no paywall, just the Wrestling News. The Wrestling News is a division of Arcadian Vanguard, and the Wrestling Newscast is a production of the Arcadian Vanguard Podcast Network.